Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Apartment Academy, the multifamily industry's only operations-focused podcast and your Institute of Higher NOI. I'm your host, the Dean of the Apartment Academy, Daniel Cunningham. And today's guest lecturer is David Watson, who is the founder and CEO of RentVision. And if you have been wondering if you're getting the most out of your digital advertising footprint, today is your lucky day because David's going to share some real key points about maximizing your ROI on your advertising spend and how his company helps with that. So here is Professor Watson. Okay, Professor Watson, welcome to the hallowed halls of the Apartment Academy. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, David, before we get started, always love to hear people's origin stories. Always interesting how people come into this business. Tell us a little bit about your journey that brought you here today as now CEO of RentVision. What brought you here?
Yeah, so I'm actually an owner of a property management firm called Century Sales and Management, and it's based here in Nebraska, where RentVision is located. And we manage a little over 4,000 apartment units in the state of Nebraska, predominantly third-party management. I have ownership in some units. And back in 2008, as I was leading that company, I noticed a lot of marketing and leasing challenges. And our company manages both large complexes with clubhouses, site staff, and then we also have about 1,500 units of scattered units, 10 plexes, 20 plexes. And I noticed those leasing agents would drive all over town, and sometimes people wouldn't show up for a showing, or they would show up and instantly not like the place. And then I started paying attention to the marketing we had at the complexes, and some of you might remember the magazine booklets that were in the grocery stores, and there's one page for the apartment community. And I thought there's got to be a better way to market apartments, and we need to show floor plan specific content. And I began to try to shoot walkthrough videos and just invent those because they didn't exist at the time, and to update our website. And bottom line is I saw great success, but web development and walkthrough videos were too expensive, and I needed to create another company to get more clients and more revenue to do this well. So in 2009, RentVision was born, and we began shooting walkthrough videos for a lot of other companies, and our product has expanded then for the last 14 years.
Yeah, 2008, that's solidly still in the days of Apartment Magazine. And, you know, were you gonna splurge and get the front page ad on Apartment Magazine to feature your community? Boy, those are the days. So you're really ahead of your time for sure in foreseeing what really only in the last couple of years has come to the forefront, which is this idea of videos being a major part of the prospect's pre-leasing experience.
Yep. I think COVID obviously brought to light the need for virtual showings. Before that, the magazine model just got applied to websites. I mean, in fact, if you go to multifamily websites today, most of the way photos are shown is there'll be a tab that says gallery, and you click that and you go see all the photos of the community. You don't know if the kitchen's the 1-bedroom or the 3-bedroom or the clubhouse kitchen or something else. They don't really provide floor plan specific content, and that's because we spent decades needing one page in the magazine for your apartment community, and so you just had to pick a few photos. That magazine model literally got stamped onto websites. And I don't think until the last, few years, 5 years, people started realizing, hey, we're doing this all wrong. We need to show a whole lot more information to people.
Yeah. Imagine that, a medium where you could actually deliver rich information. Who could possibly conceive of such a thing? Well, we've not known as an industry for being on the cutting edge of adopting technology. But as you alluded to during the pandemic, some people defaulted to videos because, hey, look, we don't have our leasing agents on site anymore, and people don't want to be taken through the properties, all those things. What has happened to the industry? Has there now been wide adoption of these video walkthroughs? Is it still sort of in its infancy in terms of adoption? Where do we stand now after 2019, 2020, what we went through?
Surprisingly, I still think it's in the infancy of adoption. I anticipated this to be widespread adoption many, many years ago, and it really hasn't happened. And I actually see more people in the industry at trade shows talking about personless showings where somebody can self-service and get a code on their phone and go tour an apartment on their own, and how great that is. And I think, for every showing, there's probably about 100 people that visit a website or 50 people that visit a website. And why not spend the time showing people your units there? And frankly, some people can't come tour your unit. They live out of state or out of your city, and they're going to be moving in. And a lot of people just they want renting to be easy. And the easiest way to make it is to allow them to walk through your units online. One of the other challenges, even in the midst of COVID, with getting walkthrough videos, is everybody was 100% full. And so the felt need was less, because anybody could rent their apartments over the last few years. Now we're starting to see a little bit more vacancy cropping up in certain parts of the country, and people are beginning to study their marketing and leasing and pricing practices a little bit more closely to try to make some changes and saying, hey, you know what, we should provide all the information. One of the best ways to relate for people is, if they're a homeowner, is to say, imagine going on Zillow and not seeing photos inside the home you're looking at. Well, by not showing floor plan photos or floor plan walkthrough videos, floor plan specific content, that's effectively what the experience is for a lot of people shopping for an apartment. They get to see photos of the outside of the home or the outside of the apartment community and nearby amenities, but not the floor plan specific content. And nobody understands this better probably than the person on site who's getting phone calls from unqualified leads because they haven't been able to see the information. They're wasting time answering questions and doing showings that are kind of pointless. And so there's a lot of value in efficiency and driving more of the right leads by showing floor plan content, whether it's walkthrough videos or a step below that, just floor plan photos even.
What do you suppose the headwinds are, David? Are they are people sort of intimidated by the prospect of managing all of this media? Like, I got all these videos, and how do I know which one is the bathroom for unit 402 or my 3-bedroom, and how do I publish all that properly? Is it that, or is it the time it takes to orchestrate shooting those videos and have it done properly? Or is it just are just people just not aware? There's just not yet the mindset like, this is what I have to be doing, and they don't even thinking about the technical challenges.
So what you just said there is the problem with some people. Some people just don't realize the importance of floor plan content. And I would just tell people, make renting easy for your end user. So provide floor plan content, pricing, availability, all these things. But the second headwind is time. One piece of the time you mentioned, and that's, you have to get people there filming all your units, all your floor plans. Some of your floor plans aren't available. They're 100% occupied. Therefore, bringing a videographer or photographer there one time isn't enough. It's multiple trips, because you got to wait until you have vacancy in the right units or the right floor plans to film them. But then the other problem is, you've got to spend time on your website, because if your website's not set up to display floor plan content, what's the point of taking floor plan content? So your website's got to be designed correctly to display all of the content. So if your website's not there, there's no point in the photo. So you've got multiple avenues that have to get worked on simultaneously to deliver a complete product to your prospective residents.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? What does it mean to say your website's not ready to present this sort of walkthrough content?
Yeah. So most community websites just have a gallery page, and it's all the photos on one page. An effective website needs to have a page for every single floor plan. So let's just say you have one 2-bedroom floor plan. That 2-bedroom floor plan needs its own page where you can put photos of that 2-bedroom, a walkthrough video of that 2-bedroom, and all the information about that 2-bedroom. Most websites have a floor plans page that show 2D diagrams of the floor plans, and then you navigate to a separate page that's called Gallery, and you scroll through all the photos of that entire apartment community. And so there really is no spot to put a gallery of photos or a walkthrough video of that 2-bedroom floor plan. So that website needs to be set up in a proper way to show that information. You can get more advanced with your marketing, like we would at RentVision, where we feature the right floor plans on the homepage based on vacancy and future vacancy and driving traffic. But the foundation is you need to be able to display floor plan specific photos and walkthrough videos for every single floor plan to an end user in an easy to find and navigate fashion.
I feel like we're having a conversation from maybe 2008 about how you got to set up your website. Is there something difficult or challenging? Like, does WordPress not have a way to present video? So you guys do that, David. You guys set that up for folks.
Yeah. So we have websites that people can purchase, and ours are built on our software platform. So we continue to roll out updates. You don't get a website and then it's static and stays the same. Every time we roll out updates, it changes, and it's all built for floor plan specific content. And then you have a content management system that you log into with all your floor plan data that can be changed at any time.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about why people should be doing this. Are there statistics, conversion rates that you can point to that talk about, or maybe you mentioned unqualified leads. I suspect these walkthrough videos help qualified leads. Are there statistics you can share with our listeners about what a difference a walkthrough video makes?
I should have pulled up numbers, ahead of time specifically, but conversion rate.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
No, that's okay. Conversion rates definitely go up. There's a number of factors with conversion rates. Like if your price is too high, your conversion rate goes down. But all factors, being the same, conversion rates go up. But one of the most interesting things is actually the lead to lease conversion rate, not just the website visit to lead conversion rate, which that can improve too. But it's mostly the quality of leads goes up, not just quantity. And so many people are stuck measuring quantity of leads. But the reason we know quality of leads go up is because the conversion rate from lead to lease dramatically improves. Because somebody that calls you who's watched a walkthrough video tour, they're not coming to the showing to see what something looks like. They're not in the discovery phase, they're in the closing phase. They're there to come and confirm that things look the way they saw online. So your leasing agent can push the closing rather than the showing at the point of showing. And so we see our percentage of leads that convert into leases across the board is superior to every ILS. And we measure leads and leases for all the listing services. In fact, not just listing services, other marketing avenues for our clients. And that conversion rate is superior. And one of the ways I benefited from it as an operator myself, I'm actually always surprised how many people it takes at an apartment community. At Century, we actually run our apartment communities. We'll run 200 plus units with one person in the clubhouse to cover everything, and then maintenance beyond that. So not needing a variety of people, because we're able to do showings automatically online, self-serve.
Do you not bother to even that didn't come out right? Do you no longer wish to give the tours in person if you have these walkthrough videos?
We still do the tours in person if the person doesn't rent sight unseen. It's just that one person doesn't have to handle a whole bunch of unqualified leads and a whole bunch of unqualified showings, because by the time somebody calls in, they're highly qualified. And some people get nervous, like, am I going to lose leads? Well, what we found is more people call that wouldn't have called, because after seeing the unit, they realize, that actually is worth my time. And then there are people that don't call because after seeing the unit, it would be a complete waste of time. So the time efficiency really improves for the people working inside the clubhouse doing showings and handling the phone and email leads.
Right. Okay. So super valuable for increasing conversions, increasing qualified leads. There is another half to the RentVision equation, which is the predictive advertising. So all of this, once you've got this all set up, ties into this program, this algorithm you guys have developed that allows, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but the way I understand it, instead of just blanketing the internet with all of your available unit types all of the time, it notices your availability and pushes out the right unit type and then I guess presents the right video. Is that an accurate kind of? Have I just butchered that, David, or did I do okay?
Yeah, no, you did good. So the thing that we noticed in the industry is marketing is static. Everybody plans their 12-month budget. They sign a 12-month agreement with marketing vendors, and they do the same thing every single month. But your vacancy is dynamic. One month you have a lot of vacancy. The next month you don't have much vacancy. And so why would you want your marketing to be the same? The whole premise behind predictive advertising is drive traffic when you need it, save money when you don't. And so our algorithms pull in automatically. We integrate with all the different property management software platforms, pull in your current availability and upcoming availability and all the timing of the move outs and the ready dates. And we factor all that in, and we automatically change digital advertising every single day, right when you need it. So we'll drive up traffic. And as you mentioned, we'll drive up traffic for the 2 bedrooms if you have a lot of 2-bedroom vacancy. And if you have no 2 bedrooms available or coming available, we're not going to spend money on targeting keywords on Google like 2-bedroom apartments, because why would we want to spend money on that when you don't have any availability there? So every single day, our algorithm is looking at your future availability and making adjustments to the spend level and to the keywords. And it goes further. I kind of alluded to this earlier, but the website is dynamic. So we know that first featured floor plan on the homepage gets clicked the most. That's going to be the floor plan with the most current and future vacancy. And so just how we order everything changes every day based on your specific needs.
And forgive me because I don't know, but tell me how this differs from like PMS products that do some of this. Their marketing engines. How does this? What's the advantage in the RentVision setup?
Yeah, so I actually haven't really seen anybody create a future occupancy metric, because we actually invented our own algorithm called future occupancy. When you look at what the metrics there are today, there's the least metric, which is pretty pointless as far as I can tell, because it doesn't include any future move-outs or take into account. You've got your trending metrics, which is maybe the closest thing. Trending, the problem is some trending metrics take into account all future move-outs and all future move-ins. Other trending metrics you're guessing 30 days, 45, 60 days ahead. We actually dial in on an individual apartment community's unique metrics. How far ahead are people renting apartments? And then looking that far ahead for future move-outs and really timing the spend with when it should happen. And I've seen some people talk about dynamic advertising. I haven't really seen anybody actually implement it besides us. One company I know implements it where they change, but it's kind of a manual conversation once a month, whereas ours is every single day, automatically tying into your own data.
It seems silly if it's not every day, right? I mean, revenue management looks at it every hour almost. So again, I don't know if you don't have these at the tip of your tongue, that's fine. But What is the experience of somebody who implements sort of this predictive advertising in terms of reducing their marketing spend? Does it cut it by 30%? Does it make it just more effective? Your cost per lead goes down. Tell me a little bit about the economics of this.
Yeah, so most of our clients end up cutting all their listing services entirely after they gain confidence in the system and how it's working. And so it really varies client by client how much they're spending on the various listing services. The bigger ROI, I would say, is just increasing occupancy, because some clients, you just hit that random time where you have way too many move-outs all at the same time. And by the time clients react, often it's usually late. Like, oh, we've had these units sitting longer than 30 days. And it's like, well, that's like kind of late. What were we thinking prior to the units even moving out? What should we have been doing? So when those situations arise and you're able to increase your traffic by 50 or 100% just at any given moment, you can really cut down on the time from move out to receiving a rental application pretty dramatically in those seasons. So typically we can see occupancy, over the course of a year notch up, 1 or 2% or 3%, so kind of depends on the situation. And then meanwhile, cutting a lot of your other marketing spend, and between the two, usually the ROI is really, really solid.
And so does your system, you're automatically selecting keywords for Google paid advertising searches, right? Is that the 100% of the source of the leads?
So for predictive advertising, if we have a client's website, obviously we want organic and direct and Google local pages. But when it comes to paid advertising, we're using Google and Meta or Facebook, and getting into Bing and TikTok and some of those as well. And so they're all different. They all have different purposes. Like take Facebook, for example. That's going to be a little bit of a wider top of funnel audience when we need to drive, more traffic in that way. The traffic's a little bit less qualified, whereas something like Google is going to be more keyword specific, more targeted, a little bit more middle and bottom of the funnel. It can be top of the funnel, but it gets more expensive when you're going on Google. So what our systems actually do, and I'm kind of a math nerd, so I actually like the professor introduction, but is we look and we actually measure engaged visits to our website. A lot of people measure clicks or cost per click, but if people come to your website and they don't spend much time, that's kind of pointless. And so we look at how many people are coming to a website, and are they engaging? Are they looking at floor plan walkthrough video tours or floor plan pages and scrolling photos and doing all the behaviors that lead to a lead? Then we can actually go back and look at our advertising platforms and see which keywords are driving those engaged visitors, or which campaigns, which platforms. And our system automatically allocates money within each platform on a daily basis to different keywords and campaigns, and then or on an hourly basis or whatever. And then every day we actually make allocations. We'll actually pull money from Google and add it to Facebook, or pull money from Facebook and add it to Google, depending upon the cost efficiency of those different platforms. So we're always managing that every day automatically. This gets really important because, like, when you're in a political season, Facebook, for example, can become very expensive. And as there's a lot more political campaigns running, taking those impressions, whereas those political campaigns aren't spending money on apartment keywords in Google. So Facebook might become too expensive in that season, and our system's automatically reallocating the money over to Google, and then when maybe that political season's done, reallocating back. So our systems are looking at your future vacancy every day, which floor plans it's in, and then the cost effectiveness of all the advertising platforms, all the keywords and campaigns, and making allocations and changes automatically to maximize the ROI of your digital ad spend.
Got it. And David, do most of your clients, are they using both sides of the system, the media creation, the videos, and as well as the advertising?
Yeah. So historically, people would mostly use all of them. That's been more something new where we've just turned into more modular offerings, so you could buy one or the other if you needed. So now, this year, that's not necessarily the case. We're getting a mix of some people using everything, some using one side or the other. I will say this, though. While you can work with us on one side or the other, you need a good solution on both sides, whether it's RentVision or somebody else. If you spend money on predictive ads and it goes to a website that doesn't have floor plan content, doesn't convert very well, you're kind of wasting a lot of money. So it doesn't need to be us, but we do strongly encourage clients to make sure you have an effective solution going on both sides.
And rough order of magnitude, David, if you wanted to, if you did examine these separately, what would an average 200 unit community expect to spend for the walkthrough videos, to have an adequate number, representative number of units? Like, just order of magnitude, what would they spend on something like that?
So we have it kind of depends if you want a website. So you can buy from us a website, walkthrough video tours, predictive ads. We have a revenue management product, and then we kind of require an essentials package, which allows us to hook up integrations, provide future occupancy metrics, and a variety of other things. So somebody working with us 200 units is going to spend anywhere from 200 a month all the way up to maybe 1,000 a month, or a little bit 1,200, 1,300 a month. If you just want videos, you're looking at a couple hundred a month, something like that. We don't typically do one-off video projects where we just go film one time, because it's a little pricey to fly somebody in and take care of that.
Got it. You just mentioned integration. You integrated with which platforms?
RealPage, Yardi, Entrada, Rent Manager, Resman. I might be forgetting one or two, but basically all MRI. The only one we're working on right now and going through the due diligence, because they just opened it up in the last year's Appfolio. So hopefully we'll integrate with that one soon. But pretty much all the others, I think we have.
Yeah, sounds like you got it covered. All right, well, David, anything else we didn't touch on today that you think is really critical for people to consider when they're thinking about their digital marketing plan and strategy?
No, I don't think so. I think the most important thing to think about is your marketing dynamic? Your vacancy is dynamic. So is your marketing static or is it dynamic? And I would just strongly encourage people to think about that, whether it's your website or predictive ads. How much is it changing based upon your unique scenario? And because the timing of marketing impacts your ROI tremendously.
I can't lie. I'm stunned that this is still a conversation that we have to have, considering how important this is. So if people are interested, rentvision.com, best way to kind of find out more?
Yep, go to rentvision.com. You can contact us through there. We'd love to answer any of your questions and give you any help you can, whether you work with us or not. And we have a blog that we try to write helpful content, much like this podcast tries to provide helpful content.
Great. And being a native Nebraskan, I'm really pleased to see, some innovation coming out of the Midwest. So keep carrying the standard for us. All right, David, it's been great having you on today. Appreciate all the info you shared. And we'll hopefully see, the industry come around quickly to this kind of solution, because it's just so clear this is what people should be doing. But thanks for your time.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you for joining us at this week's episode of the Apartment Academy podcast. The Apartment Academy is a production of Leonardo 24/7, the industry's leader in multifamily operations and maintenance software. At Apartment Academy, we realize the hard work that goes into property management and the stress that comes along with it. Leonardo 24/7 takes the guesswork out of your team's day-to-day by providing customized daily guidance on tasks that need to be done, guaranteeing consistent operations across your entire portfolio. To learn more, visit www.leonardo247.com today.